I hope, because Europe has been going through these structural shifts again and again, making promises and then not putting the money where their mouth is. It's a problem with the EU, I mean, not the specific European members, which each of them have a completely different strategy. East European countries, West European countries, South European countries, they have different interests and different policies. But the EU has been very inconsistent in saying in doing what it says. Because on the one hand, the EU says we want net zero goals. We do not want to invest in infrastructure that will lock us into fossil fuels for the next 30 years. And they've been saying that for the past 10 years. And suddenly now there's a crisis, and Europe is saying, actually, we do want infrastructure that will bring more fossil fuels to Europe, right? More gas, so long as it's not from Russia, and we're willing to pay a security premium for it. But okay, let's say next year, hopefully even sooner, the war ends. Let's say it ends in a rather good way. And so it's hard for me to believe that Europe will just continue not buying gas from Russia. Russia has the cheapest gas. You can't compete with the price of Russian gas. The pipeline is already there. Nord Stream 2 is already there. It's built. And I really find it difficult, just in a realist way, not in a normative way, that Europe will just, even though the war is ended, and there's a lot of scenarios. What is Russia in 5 years? Is it still run by Putin?
Sure.
Is something? And so there's so many scenarios in which Europe will say, okay, let's go back to buying cheap gas from Russia. And then prices will fall. And then all of these new infrastructure deals that Europe is encouraging other countries to start, suddenly we don't want your LNG anymore. And so it's a problem. It's a risk that other countries are taking when they're now building new LNG facilities, whether it's Egypt, whether it's someone else. And for that, we need kind of China as a backup, where if Europe doesn't kind of hold its end of the deal, then at least there's a market for LNG somewhere else. But it's still a risk, because Europe keeps changing its mind, and its energy policy isn't as coherent as we would like to think, because the EU, at the end of the day, it's the same. It's a united market. It's a united coin. It's not a united energy policy. There is no European energy market. Each country has its own energy policy.